Yes, it's everything that I'm saying. Yeah, I'm trying to. I almost got it. Like I said, I'm running through the phone. I ain't gonna be on too long, you guys. I don't want to bore you guys. You know how that is.
Shut this thing down. All right, I'm almost ready. I apologize for those technical difficulties. I'm almost ready. So remember last time y'all said y'all couldn't hear me. So this pumpkin over here. Again, I'm trying to set the mood in the background for the scary stuff and the scary talk. So bear with me on that.
Bluetooth mode.
Let me see something here. Let me see something here. Can y'all hear me? Let me see something here. Can you guys hear me now? Can y'all hear me? Let me see something here. Okay. So I'm gonna run it through my cell phone. Wish I could run it through the laptop, but I thought I had the right software, but the software ain't right. So, thank you, KK. Let me give y'all some. Let me give y'all that music. I'm trying to let some more people come up here, but if they don't come up in here, like I said, I'm just trying to make sure that I make it possible and make it known about the books and things along those lines. Want to tell a little quick scary story, and then let me see, there it is. Crash out because 3 o'clock comes real early. Okay, so as you guys know, finally got it out. The benefits of a bully, Wraith War. Let me see if I get some of that shine, some of that light on it. Wraith War. It ain't working. Look, I ain't even kidding y'all. About an hour ago, I had tested all of this stuff and everything was working really good, right? And today, and now here it is at the time that I needed to work properly, it's messing up on me. Okay, y'all can see, hope y'all can see that. There's Wraith War in the middle, the new book, the new kids novel. Finally got it out, paperback edition, and it's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble's, audiobooks. It's ready to go, okay? You guys grab a hold of it and don't let go. It's a great book. This is the original one. This is the original Benefits of a Bully. There's 3 books in the series so far. This is the original, the one that started it all. This is part 2, The Onyx-Eyed Kids. Again, all this can be found on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, Kindle, Nuke, all of those exciting outlets and more. I finally got it ready. I'm very proud of that. And again, what I'm doing, I'm trying to tell a scary story, and I'm trying to set the background and set the mood. Normally I do this, I just make a video, have everything perfect, and then I just run the video back and just have people look at the video. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to do I'm trying to get this live thing down. Trying to get this live thing down. Anybody got any questions they want to ask? Go ahead and ask questions if you feel free to do so. In about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and tell the spooky story because it actually happened in Kentucky, in our home state, and not far from our hometown. So if you got any questions you want to ask, go ahead. Feel free to ask those questions. I'm here for it. That's what we're here for. I'm really proud that I got the book out. Took a lot of hard work. Had to get that copy to make sure there were no blackout pages like there were before. Because we had blackout pages at one point, and that sucked. Having those blackout pages. The audiobook Pink Unicorn is 99¢ right now for a promo, and I believe right now on Amazon, if you can separate the two, it's $9. But I'm looking at. It's better to get it on Kindle and the audio book, right? But if you have go to Barnes and Nobles and get the paperback copy. Again, I don't know what's going on with Amazon. Amazon is jumbling all 3 books together, so you can't differentiate. It's actually got the same reviews, and I'm like, I don't understand why it's got the same reviews for every for every book, and each book has its own entity. So I don't really understand that at all. So but I'm really excited for the audio. This is my first time doing an audio book, and I'm really proud of that because we worked really hard on it. The new book, KK, is called Wraith War: The Benefits of a Bully. Wraith War by L.A. Kendrick. So that's the original. I mean, that's the latest one. That's the latest one that's out right now. It's gone. Somebody's in there now. Hey, you guys, if it crashed out, just sign back in and hit the refresh, okay? I apologize for that. I think it crashed out, so. Yeah, about 3 more minutes, and then I'm gonna go ahead and try to tell the spooky story. Let me get a stand real quick. I'm not sure, sis. It it keeps doing this weird stuff. Like I say, the bad thing about doing it this way, of course, I got it on the phone, right? But the bad thing about it is, I had everything planned out. I had everything planned out to where it would be on the laptop, but the software that I'm using, this is some new software, and I could have sworn I had everything nailed down. And apparently, I don't have everything nailed down, so I'm gonna have to try this again. The volume is low. Okay, let me slide it forward a little bit. What about now? Can you hear me now? Is it low? Still low? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Still low? Wonder. What about now? Is it better? All right. If you guys don't mind, hit that thumbs up button for me. Okay. Again, if you guys don't mind, hit that thumbs up button for me. Get them likes up. I guess it helps the algorithm. I hate asking people to hit the like button because I keep thinking if they like what they seeing and they following you or whatever, then they'll hit the like button and they'll get the likes up. But you know, okay. And again, it's dark in the background. Like I said, it's Halloween. It's trick or treat time. It's time for those spooky stories to be told. Um, and again, we finally got the book out, The Benefits of a Bully, Wraith War. It's sold on Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, Books a Million. It's sold all over the place, right? It's a great read. It's a great book, and proud of the effort that we put in to get everything doing what it's doing, and couldn't be prouder of the situation. So let me see. Open a file up real quick. Okay. But everybody doing good. I hope everybody's doing good. They're enjoying this Sunday. And look, I think it's better when I do the live. I just run a playback, right? Tell the story, tell what I need to tell, and then just let you guys know, hey, go to the video. The video is up. I think live streams are okay if you like say out in the public space or public square. But for some reason, again, I don't know what it is with MacBooks. They have a very difficult time, in my opinion. Well, I've never been able to stream with YouTube, as you can see. It looped and looped and looped and did all this crazy stuff. The pumpkin is. Oh, you ain't seen my skeleton yet. Oh, the title of the new book on sale. Uh, the new book on sale is. Let me type it in. Let me type it in the chat. There it is. That's the title, and it's on Audible books. They put it down in the chat. And BAM means Books a Million. Uh, Where else is it sold? Amazon. And the reason I keep pushing Barnes and Nobles is because they have it legit set up the way it's supposed to be set up. They don't have it. They have each title of the book, because it's 3 books. They have each title of each book separated. You're welcome, Pink Unicorn. You're most welcome. They have it separated with each title. So it's the benefits of a bully. Then it's the benefits of a bully, the Onyx-Eyed Kids, and then there is the benefits of a bully, the newest book, Wraith War. So it's spread out like that. But for some reason, Amazon's got them all under the same thing. So when you click on it, you may see the first book, and you can't separate the two or differentiate the 2 books or the 3 books. But on Barnes and Nobles, everything is separated. That's why I say I think it's better when you guys get it, if you were to get it from Kindle, or Audible audiobooks, and then you can even get it from the digital downloads from Barnes and Noble. But the hard copy, the paperback copies, you can get them from Barnes and Noble as well. And there's multiple outlets that it's being sold on. So I'm trying to get it up. Like I said, I keep doing the little contests. Like right now, if you're the 100th person to buy the book, your name goes into a raffle, but you have to show me proof of purchase, like a screenshot, and don't try to take and then get a refund and put your name into the thing and be the 100th person that purchased the book and get the $300. And leave a short review on Barnes and Noble or Kindle or wherever you buy the book from. So that's what I'm trying to. That's the contest. And like I say, the book just got released like earlier this week, and a lot of people don't know it's out. That's the thing about it. It's always hard to get the book out and take off on a launch date that you tell everybody the day is going to be launched, and then you can't end up not being able to do it that way. So, yeah. So we got that issue. So another thing, what I want to do. Also, I'm trying to do like a fitness thing, right? So if you're the 10th person to buy the book, you can get a month free fitness training from me. If you're the 10th person to purchase the book, because I know everybody could use a little physical fitness, and we could do it online. And you can take me to the gym on your phone, wherever you got to take me to, or you can just do it at the privacy of your own home. And voila, I'll be there, and I'll give you 3 days a week for a whole month worth of training. Fitness training. I tell y'all what. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and tell this horror. So usually do it. It's called Would You Dare, right? And so what I usually do is I bump this music. And again, I'm just impromptu doing this, okay? So normally I bump this music. It starts off, okay? So see if you guys can hear this. How is everybody doing? This is L.A. Kendrick with another show on Would You Dare? Horror personified. We talk about everything cryptid, supernatural, extraterrestrial, demonic, possessions, serial killers. You name it, we talk about it here, okay? That's what we do. So take these stories with a grain of salt, okay? This is what I write about. You guys know that. We travel all over the world to get some of these stories to bring to you. And we actually can verify that some of these places exist. We only go to places that actually exist. We have a good time bringing you these stories. Again, you name it, we talk about it here. This gives you a chance to imagine what you used to imagine when you were a kid or when you were younger. Or if you've ever had anything weird or creepy happen around you, guess what? You can come right here, share your story, like I've done in many of my speaking engagements. I've actually taken stories from people that have called in or wrote in and talked to me, and guess what? I put your story right out there for the public. and I keep your name anonymous. That way you don't, if you don't, because a lot of people don't feel comfortable talking about stuff like this. I think it's cool. I think it's fun because it's a big old world out there. It's a big old, and the universe is even bigger. We don't have answers to everything that's going on around us, and we should never take things for granted. We should never take things for granted. So, what I want to talk about tonight is something that happened in our hometown. We used to have this toll bridge, right? Toll booth, and it's right between Madisonville and Daniel Boone National Park in Kentucky, right? And let me do like we always do. The party don't start till you walk in, and now that you're here, let's begin. Let me tell you this story. And I'm gonna start off with the 1980 Bigfoot sighting remembered, okay? Now this all ties in because again, we talk about a lot of different stuff. And this happened. I had an associate of mine that used to live on Prosperity Lane. He can verify that he remembered hearing about it and seeing it, and it scared him, it shook him to his core. And it happened in the mid-80s, this part. But what I'm about to read you guys happened in 1980. Okay, so the story goes like this. 1980 Bigfoot sighting remembered. All right, and this is the image. This is the image of the creature. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the image. That's the image of the creature. Looks like a hippie in a fur vest. That's what it looks like to me. But that's what they said approached their house. But let me get to the story. In the autumn of 1980, television viewers were anxiously awaiting to find out who shot JR on the TV series Dallas. And the American League Championship Series had the Kansas City Royals in a backfest with the New York Yankees. And in Mason and Fleming counties, something was lurking in the night, which led to at least 3 hair-raising encounters. In early October, the Charles Fulton family of Slip Up near Mays Lick reported seeing a white-haired creature with pink eyes standing more than 7 feet tall and weighing more than 400 pounds at their doorstep. After they attempted to get into the house and assaulted a chicken, Charles Fulton chased after the creature, but it evaded him and disappeared into the night. A week later, on October the 10th, 1980, the Toomey family of Ewing reported a similar incident, chasing the creature into the night with James Chink Toomey, firing warning shots from a distance. He described the creature as man-like and big, making a thumping noise as it ran. According to reports, 2 loaves of bread, a frozen chicken, and a package of hot dogs were missing from the freezer, his wife told police. Food product from the family's freezer, which had been the neighbors who came running when they heard the gunshots. You could see where whatever it was had made a mess on the porch, got into the freezer and had torn into the frozen meat, said Estelle Helpenstein, one of the men who searched the woods for the perpetrator after police were called. We didn't know what we were looking for, but we had guns and good lights, and we went into the woods. Helpenstein and the late Johnny Burke searched the woods, but did not find the creature, he said. We did find bare footprints that were about 14 inches long and probably 6 inches wide in the creek bed, he said. We both saw that, and there's no denying it. Helpenstein can laugh about the situation now, but on that dark night in 1980, they were serious about the search. It was scary in those woods in the dark and not knowing what you might find, he said. At the time, Maysville Mayor David Cartmel was publishing competition for the Ledger Independent and covered the creature sighting at length in front page stories in the Mirror. Even published an artist's rendering of an image of the creature. Back then, he says, you could publish anything. Reminiscing with a smile. We had interviews with all sorts of people and claims, and more claims of seeing it. One guy at a tobacco warehouse said he saw it carrying a burlap sack and smoking a cigar. Okay, yeah, that's some of that hillbilly moonshine. The stories were the talk of the town. One woman reported being chased around the parking lot by the creature when she stopped for change at the laundromat. It sold Cartmel a lot of newspapers, said Bob Hendrickson. the Ledger Independent publisher. It was that time of the year, so we ran with it, Cartmel said. We had fun with it, even though it's probably a hoax. Fleming County Sheriff, the late G.W. White, was called to the scene of the Ewing incident, but a search by neighbors and police into the early mornings did not locate the creature. Searches continued when some residents claimed to have found 14 imprints in the sand of a barefoot creature. Police were able to recover hair samples from the home site. Oh, I didn't see that part. Which were turned over to Kentucky State Police and reportedly from a human, police said. They always say that, no matter if it's good or not. They'll say it's contaminated or it's human, but they'll say something. And the story did not stop with the local police. On November 5th, check this out, 1980, an Alabama truck driver, Noble Clay, apparently unaware of the sightings, reported seeing the creature along US 68 near Maysfield. Mistaken it for a hitchhiker until he saw it close in the bright headlights of his truck. He notified the police. It has been more than 35 years since the region had sightings of the creature, but questions about what frightened folks from Ewing to Mayslick and beyond in 1980 continue today, and the creature was never found. There's a statement here. Anyone with information on the creature should call 606-564-9091, extension 276. The Ledger Independent is online. Now, that's just to break you into tonight's story. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Pinky Unicorn. That's an interesting sketch. It's a weird sketch. It's a weird sketch though. So I was like, So let me see here. Let me see if I can bring it. Let me put that back up there. I'm not even sure what this cat is holding. I don't know if he's holding I don't know if it's the burlap sack, but that's his face. I mean, that's the creature, so I'm not sure what he's holding or what he's holding, right? Which is crazy to me, right? But let me get into the story about the toll booth. And KK, you might remember this and you might not remember it, okay? So this is how the story goes. There were two people at the toll booth on this Saturday night, and it was I remember making the news because I remember reading about it, and I remember seeing it, and it was really, really quick the way the story went. But on Friday and Saturday night, what would happen is there were some clubs going to Madisonville, so people went from Hopkinsville to Madisonville for certain clubs, or they would go into was not very far from Madisonville or Central City or Daniel Boone National Park, right? So this particular night, it was really foggy out there on the road. I think it was about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And by this time, the traffic pretty much stops, right? So there's a guy in one booth for the incoming traffic and there's a female for the ongoing traffic. Or I guess they can rotate and be in the same booth. I'm not sure, right? But this is the catcher. The fog rolled in. They could see each other, but they couldn't see through the fog except for headlights that would occasionally come. And they said after a while, the traffic had pretty much just became non-existent. So they heard something in the distance, because on each side of the highway is nothing but woods. And again, if you guys have ever been through Madisonville, at the time that toll booth was there, you'll see there's heavy wooded areas on both sides. So they heard something and they kind of looked up and it startled them, right? So a deer ran across, stopped in the middle of the road, looked back over his shoulder and continued to run into the wood line from the left side of the street to the right side of the street. And so there was a pretty good sized deer. And they looked at each other and just shrugged their shoulders. But then something big ran across the street a few minutes after the deer. And when it did, some of the lighting from the guy turned on the light on the toll booth so he can get a better look and see what that was, because he thought it was a man. All I could see was a silhouette, and the silhouette, as soon as the light hit it, ran even faster into the wood line. So it scared them, because you got to think, they don't have any weapons. They have no way to defend themselves out here in the middle of the night. No way to defend themselves. So they're at the mercy of whatever, right? So they wait a few minutes, they look around. He looks out, he yells at her, "Did you see that?" She says, "Yes, I saw that." "What do you think it was?" She said, "I thought it was a man." And she didn't know what to think. They didn't know what to think at that point. So they, laughed it off and shut the door. So about 10 minutes later, that thing runs across again in the other direction from right to left. And it scared them really bad this time, because the size of it, it was a little closer, so they could see it was a huge size, about 7 to 8 feet tall. Had no idea what it was, but they know there's no man that big. So they scared both of them at this point. They're both just scared. Now they're scared. The guy's trying to act tough, trying to act, pretty cool. And so when that happened, another 5 minutes later, it came right back again into the fog. This time it went up to the booth with the female in it, and it slapped the booth. And it slapped it so hard it shook it. And it growled and made a really, really high-pitched scream. Scared her so bad she dropped down. The guy dropped down. She dropped down in the pool. The booth, and curled up into a ball as this thing screamed and yelled. And the only thing that stopped it was some headlights coming from another vehicle in that direction. It turned and looked, and it took back off into the wood line to the right. Car went past. They looked up. They didn't even think to call the police. From what I remember, they both got into their vehicles. They were parked on the side of the road. They drove off, and they never looked back. They left the toll booth completely open. They said, "Forget that job," and they never came back. They left the toll booth wide open, jumped in their cars, rode off, never came back. Didn't even want the job, didn't care what happened, they quit. This is the article that I had seen in the newspaper, and my boy can verify it because he saw it, and it scared, well, he didn't see it, but he heard about the story, and it scared him to death because he lives on it's country out there where he's at, on Prosperity Lane in Kentucky. And it scared him to death. He said he wasn't right for weeks because he was scared. He didn't want to go outside at night. So it freaked him out. Would you dare want to be caught out there like that? In the middle of the night, doing your job, something big. Oh, and the girl said the one thing that they did say in the description in the newspaper article was that it was hairy and it was big. She said she couldn't make out the face because she was too scared, but she could see it was hairy, it was huge. It was as tall as the booth is, and I think those booths would be like 7 or 8 feet tall. And scared him to death. They never came back. They never looked back. Now, the toll booth continued for a couple of years beyond that point. I don't know who would dare work that shift or work that post after hearing that, but the Maysfield white-haired Bigfoot ties right into that. Ties right into it. So, I know, right? That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know I've been scared to death, but I'd have been shook. I can tell you that, especially with no way to defend yourselves. I'm really surprised they didn't call the cops or the state troopers or somebody. I guess they were trying to preserve their lives, and they were like, "Forget this, I'm out." And that makes sense. I would have been out too. I would have been done too. It'd been a wrap. I would have got back to headquarters or whatever, and I would have told them then, and that'd have been the end of it. But they got that. Apparently they told that story to the Kentucky New Era at the time, because it was a big article, and I've been looking and searching hard to try to find that article, and I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. The only thing that I remember, they had a picture of some Bigfoot footprints down in Little River in the snow right around that time. So that what was that in his hand? A club or a bat? I believe it was a bat. It looked like a sack, a burlap sack that they were talking about. KK. I think that's what that was. I think it was a burlap sack. But I've seen some strange stuff, man. I'm talking stuff that you should. We get stuff on video from time to time. We can't figure out what it is. We always have witnesses with us when we see stuff. And again, we travel all over the world, different countries, looking at artifacts, pyramids, jungles, volcanoes, giant sequoias, Roswell, Area 51, Skinwalker Ranch, Devil's Tower. You know what? Probably heard of it. Some people would have tried to get a picture and wouldn't care that it's a life or death situation. Probably heard a head of some human or animal in it. Yeah, they was for Pink Unicorn. I don't think they had any cameras. You gotta think that was the 80s, and they didn't have cell phones or anything like that. So I don't think they had a camera or anything like that, like a Polaroid or anything like that, instant shot. So I don't know if I don't think they had any access to any kind of cameras to capture the picture or the image. The thing about that, the picture that we're looking at, I think they're joking. You know what I mean? I think that's like a meme, basically we would consider a meme, right? Because it didn't, apparently what they said got on their porch, just took the stuff, but they were making jokes about how it chased them around the parking lot and had a burlap sack and a cigar smoke. You know how people do. So they're making fun of, making light of it. See, it's all fun and games till they knock on your door. Then it ain't funny no more. Just like when I tried to tell our mom a couple of times about some of the spooky stuff we saw, and then Tamiko can verify it. And when we tried to verify it, she still didn't believe it. I told that story last week. Trying to tell the good stories and stuff. Trying to do something every Sunday, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just make recordings. Because I did send an email out, I sent Facebook post out to a lot of people. I don't know where they're at. And maybe because, I don't know if it's set, no, it can't be, I don't think that's what it is, because you can view it if you, I was gonna say maybe the privacy settings, but I don't know if that's it. I think they just didn't show up. Because some of these have people show up and have folks show up and show some support, and that's cool. It gets better. It only gets better. Again, once I figure out how to put this on the laptop, I'll be able to do a little bit more. But yeah, I want to see some stuff coming up here in the next couple of days. Yeah, that's when they were saying that the Maze Lick thing happened in 1980. That happened in the mid 80s, like a couple of years after the Maze Lick or Maysville situation happened. That happened after that, but I remember working at the road department for some of you jobs, those JTPA jobs, and I had worked for the road department, and it was a dude named Wayman and JP. They used to always talk about this thing called the Wild Man at Wildcat Holler. And they mean like it was a Bigfoot. And they would always tell me when we go out there, be really, really careful, don't stray away from the vehicle, stay next to the truck. They would always tell me that. And I didn't go too far because it was out there on the road. When you're on the road department, we used to do this thing called, they would wet the roads, and what they would use is tree sap and water. And them roads be going way back into the country because the roads weren't paved, they were gravel. And they would kick up a lot of dust, so they would come down and they would, I guess they called it dust. I can't remember. I think the name was dusting the road, and they would wet them down, wetting the roads. They would wet them down that way it wouldn't kick up so much dust. But I remember a lot of stories that would pop up here and there about what was happening in the woods of Kentucky, Land Between the Lakes, the beast of LBJ, where this family was torn apart by a supposed werewolf. Yeah, that's the thing. We just did one last week. If you go, remember the one we did last week? Um, and if you got any stories that you want to tell, you can, I could get you off camera. You just tell me your story off cam. You could be off camera, and you can tell me you can talk about your story while I record it, and I'll ask you questions about what happened or whatever, and you just go from there. You just explain to me what happened. Yeah, but I'll always share. That's the thing with Would You Dare. I'm always sharing. I have at least, let me see. I'm trying to figure out how many. If you go back and look at my work on Would You Dare, I've got at least 70, 80 stories. 70, 80 stories that I did when I was in, when I was back in Austin, Texas. And I would go to the gym early in the morning. I would tell stories about what I'd seen. Not so much what I'd seen, but I'm starting to open up a little bit more about what things that I've actually seen with my own two eyes, and not so many of the stories that I pick off the internet and go with them, or stories from people that I come in contact with on the internet and in my chats. So yeah, I'm all about telling stories. I'm all about sharing the stories, because again, I think this stuff is fascinating to me, because this is what we write about. This is what I write about. You got any stories? You got Pink Unicorn you might want to share? UKK, y'all might want to share one day? Oh, you didn't have to retract it. Because see, by you guys being part of, by you guys subscribing to the channel, you can go back and look at videos that I had there. What are they called? The playlist. Go back and look at the playlist, and you'll see all types of stories that I've told. In fact, I'm trying to get. What I'm trying. What I'm trying to get is Is it happening to you there in the house, or is it happening to you where, KK? Where is it happening to you at? You want to share? Because I mean, I'm pretty. Hey, I'll put it out there. Yeah, do tell. You actually have a spooky thing that has been happening to you lately. Spill it. We here for it. That's what Would You Dare is for. And that's why I like that. That's why I'm trying to get it live, do it live, so that people can actually tell their story in real time. What you got? What you got for us? Or you too scared to say it because are you? Okay, okay. About 2 weeks ago, my front porch opened on its own. I will send you the clip. Do that. You have you do me a favor. Watch your dog, right? Look at him when he's chilling, right? Just watch how he looks. Cause this is what I remember when I was down there. I ain't trying to scare you, sis, but this is what I remember when I came down there, right? I would watch Kiki look. She would stop and look and tilt her head to the left and to the right, and she'd be looking in the kitchen next to the bathroom. Kiki would always do that. When the times that I came over there, she would always stop, look, and tilt. You know how dogs tilt their head left to right? And she would tilt her head left to right and look. Like she was seeing something. Anything else happen like that that's scary for you though, as far as anything else happen? Because again, if you so it happened on your porch, I remember your dog, it would look around like it was somebody else in there and the dog could see it. Now you know there's a way to fight off spirits. They say throw salt over your shoulder. When you know people say get rid of bad luck, they're not saying get rid of bad luck. They're saying get rid of spirits because salt is a purifier. So when you throw it over your shoulder, it stops ghosts. AP, what's up, Patrick? What's up, man? It didn't happen in the season, right? It happened. Well, you mean like, well, KK said it just happened here recently to her about 2 weeks ago. Her door opened on its own. Now, when Kiki was alive, when I came home a couple of times, right, when I would come in the house over her house, it's been unlocking on its own. I know I locked the screen when I leave home and come home a couple of times. It's unlocked. Kilo not on the porch when it opened, but the end time he was okay. Hmm. Okay. Was that the screen door or the actual front door? Uh, yep, the screen porch door. Okay. You think it's one of them crazy neighbors of yours? Cause look, I don't doubt because again, I've seen some crazy stuff. But when I put I believe her truly. But when I put the camera back on the porch, nothing. So I could show y'all. I've actually been at work, right? And the thing that's weird about work, um, they say it's a lot of crazy stuff that happens, and I say it all the time. And they say it's buried on it's on an Indian burial ground, right? So I did some research. There are 650 unmarked Indian burial sites there. And I believe where I work at, they're buried on the native land, right? So they said the other day, one of the security ladies, when I walked in, uh, she told me she was there that weekend and she heard a little girl screaming her head off, like she was in trouble. And she said that the little girl, she said she could tell it was a little girl, but she couldn't see the body, couldn't see her voice. There was nobody there because on the weekend there's nobody in the building at all, the buildings at all, except for them and security. Except for them, the security. That's it. And they'll say something about a turkey that has glowing red eyes and it'll walk into a wall and disappear. I've even got footage. I've got footage of orbs floating around in there, not dust, orbs. And one of the cleaning ladies said that she was up on one of the higher floors, and she was using the restroom because they says all kinds of weird stuff that happens in there, right? She said she was using the restroom and she was in there in the stall. Now check this out. Check this out. In the stalls, and when she walked out, when she was sitting on the stall, something with glowing yellow eyes is like a black shadow, and it looked in on her while she was using the restroom. She said it scared her a little bit, but not too bad. She said, I'm in here using the restroom. Could you please leave me alone? She said it floated on off into the wall and disappeared. And I said, wow. The camera picks up nothing because you can see at the end of the clip, the clip door opened and popped open on its own 2 minutes before I pulled into the driveway. I was seeing your clip. Okay, that's cool. We got you. Not only and not only that, I was in there. I think right before I called you one day, I was in there and I said this last week too. Something said. Let me see. Are you saying that your camera is not operational all the time or only on when you're not home? Some people don't have a gift to see the supernatural, and the ones that do have to accept it and find others with the same gift. We were chosen to see it for a reason, and maybe because of our ancestors. That's a good one. That's a good one, Peak Unicorn. I believe that. I see that. And Patrick Kendrick, I see that. I like that. No, that day. No, that day I took of the porch to charge and forgot to put it back up on the porch until the next day. Hmm. So how excited is the dog when you come home, when to see you? Because again, the animals have a tendency to be able to see stuff that we can't see. Kids do it too. Okay. I have ADT outside the front porch that caught the pop open door. Patrick, have you ever seen anything strange back home? No weird stuff or action on his part. Watch his face. Okay, just do me a favor. If he's sitting there chilling, just watch his head and watch his face and see where he look at. See if he looks around and starts doing that head to the left, head to the right kind of thing, like he's trying to figure out what something is. Because Kiki used to do it all the time. Kiki used to look around all the time when I would come over there. She'd be looking around in the back. Well, Patrick, me and Quan, me and Tamikio got some stories, boy. Yeah, I was saying that too. Pink Unicorn. When I was there, I can feel stuff too, right? And I don't feel anything bad in the house, malevolent. I don't feel anything malevolent in our house. I know there's something there, but it ain't bad. Don't want to scare nobody now. Yeah, Kiki would do that, but Kiki would never growl. She would just look left, tilt her head right, and just keep staring like she's trying to figure out something in front of her and what she's looking at. Again, she was always looking in the kitchen area next to the bathroom. Does Kylo look at the kitchen in the bathroom area? Is that where he's looking at when he do the jumping up thing? Is that what you're seeing, or is he jumping up at the front door? had a similar experience in the past. My joke for the spirit was wishing they would pay my rent since things are moving and sharing my space in my home. I hear you, Pink Unicorn. Hey, I want some payment too. He's very alert sometimes, but mostly the front door area. Okay. Only reason I say that, because the front door, I'm not doubting anything that you're saying. I just know that the front door could be actually somebody at the front door messing around in the yard that would make him look up, if that makes sense. But if he's looking in the house and he's looking at the kitchen area next to near the bathroom, or growling at the bathroom in that area, that's a little different because that's a closed space and ain't nothing that can come around. So that's what I was looking. That's what I was saying. And again, like I said, I saw Kiki doing it. I'm telling you, I got so many horror stories, man. I'm so busy. I'm trying to get somebody to ghostwrite. Are there any belongings still in the house, like the attic or something that keeps the spirit lingering and not to pass on to the other side? I don't believe in all that, but I do say whoever this is, ghost or what, you better go get whoever done it to you. That's how I got rid of my spirit. I'm gonna say this to all parties in here, right? I'm just keeping it real. You can ask Quan what we saw. I've had company that have seen some crazy stuff in the house with me, to the point where one person was jumping over the couch, pretty much. And it was whatever I saw in our house was aggressive. It was, and I wouldn't go to the bathroom unless Percy went. And again, Uncle Joe, Quan, Beak, some of the other people that I used to hang around with or date back in the day, they saw some creepy, crazy stuff. And when you try to explain it to our mama, she'd be like, yeah, whatever. I'd be like, okay. So, I know what I saw. So it ain't a matter of me believing or not believing. I've seen it. So I'm a believer. I've seen the stuff. And it's crazy. I mean, I've always been like sensitive to stuff and can see stuff. So if you KK, if you want to, you can burn some sage. Sage helps too. But again, I don't think it's a bad spirit in your place. And I don't know if Miss Anderson, did she pass there? Oh, did she transition to the next life there? I have embraced that I have sight to see the afterlife, and my siblings have the gift too. We embrace it and use it to our advantage when exposed to negative and bad energy. I have motion detectors. If it is a person, then I will see a human form. Kyla always runs to the living room and barks. I rebuke all in the name of Jesus. No, died in Nashville. Okay. Hey, sometimes a spirit will set off a motion detector if it's strong enough. Like, again, I told you I was at work and something asked me, what you doing or what's up? And I turned around, I'm looking, I'm like, all I can do is laugh. I said, okay, cool. I brought some night vision goggles in there and some FLIR infrared goggles, and I was kind of nervous that I didn't want to see what I thought I was going to see, but I didn't see nothing when I turned them on. I didn't see anything in there, just to see if there was something. And I know there was something there because there was nobody in there and the music was off. And there's nobody there with me at 5 a.m. There's nobody there but me. So the cleaning crew is always seeing stuff and saying that they're seeing stuff, and I believe them again because very true. It's definitely strong if it can move things and set off motion detectors. Um, I don't think KK have it that strong, Pink Unicorn, yet. I don't think it's moving anything in there. Well, she said the door. She said the door. So, yeah, she said the door. Hmm. Like I said, I heard something at my spot. It said, "What you doing?" or "What's up?" I can't. I was like, "What?" I'm looking around, ain't nobody there because I'm getting everything ready. Um, in our house where we grew up at, right? Nothing said anything. It was always something showing itself. It was always something showing itself, and I mean, it would try to scare the daylights out of it. Well, Uncle Joe, he can tell you. Quan can tell you if because she was trying to explain when we was down there in August the 8th. Me and Quan was talking to our mom about it. We were like, yeah. And she was like, no. Quan was like, yeah. Why do you think we were sitting outside in 30 something degree weather, barefooted with no jacket, waiting on her to come home? Quan will tell you. And I mean, that's just, I don't know what else Quan might have seen. I know I saw way more stuff. I'm talking just crazy stuff. And I mean, again, some of the company that we would have over there would see it or hear it or feel it. And when they told, they was telling my mom about it, she denied it then too. I was like, okay, so I guess everybody's just making up stuff. It's been well documented. It's been documented since the time of Christ and the Quran. It's been, there is another world that's invisible to us sometime, and then some other times it makes itself known to us. And when we transition to the next life, we are energy. Some energy wants to hang around, doesn't want to leave. Some energy wants to freely go and never return. I will be that energy to want to go and never return. I'm sick of this place. This crazy world. And ain't nothing wrong with that because it is what it is. There is other life, other energies, other universe. There's other stuff out there. And I think it's fascinating. I really do. I mean, we've seen everything from maybe Bigfoot footprints to when we tried to film in Roswell. The camera went crazy. We just got back from Skinwalker Ranch, me and my girl, and when we got out there, she started feeling something almost immediately. I said, I don't feel nothing. I know I'm really sensitive to stuff, right? I'm trying to do the little video and do this and whatnot. And right about the time we were wrapping it up, I said, oh snap, there it is. And I could feel it. Don't know exactly what it was, but I could feel it. This is when we went to Skinwalker Ranch in Utah. We saw something crash, came out of the sky and crashed in Colorado. It was 9 o'clock, but it looked like it was broad daylight outside. And what it did, it skipped. It left a trail of fire. And we asked the cop what it was. The cop wouldn't give us an explanation on what it was. He's the only dude on the road, it's just us and the cop. And I got a video of that. I got footage of that. I asked him, was it a brush fire? He said no. I said, was it fireworks? He said no. I said, what do you think it was? He looked up in the sky, looked back down at the ground, and he just shook his head and said, y'all have a good evening. I said, okay, you have one too, officer. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff. Even to the point where we even saw a fleet of UFOs. I couldn't get it on camera, but my girl was like, you know what? We looked up and you could see them in the sky. It was like red orbs circling around each other. And She ran in the house. She said, "Oh no, I've seen this movie before." And she ran in the house. She didn't come back outside. I couldn't get the pictures, the orbs on picture, but I tried, but I couldn't. The camera wouldn't focus in on it. I don't know why, but the other stuff they would. Yeah, that too. Rumor has it good spirits that dwell in the home help keep the bad spirits out. I've heard that too. I've heard that too. But if you remember Nuki, if you remember KK, what Grandma used to say, she would say this. She would say, them haints. And she would always say, throw salt over your shoulder. She would always say that. Yeah, I think it's pretty impressive, but I'm gonna leave y'all with this. And I appreciate you guys popping in here, showing up, giving a thumbs up and having this conversation because I think it's cool as heck. I think that Bigfoot thing is something else, boy. That's a weird topic. The topics that are the strangest to me are the Bigfoot, the UFOs, and the spirit world. Those are some crazy topics, man. And I've seen some of each, bits and pieces of each. I've seen more of the supernatural stuff than I've seen the Bigfoot and the UFO, but I've seen some of each, and I tell you, man, it's pretty amazing, man. Again, it makes me every year I pick out somewhere I want to go, and we get in the car, and we just take a road trip, and we go knock it off the bucket list because I want to see if these places exist. Now, what I would like is to go at night to some of these places. It's tough to go with my girl because if she goes, I will put her in harm's way because you out there in the desert or in the woods, I'm talking to anybody, any help. So if the car breaks down, right, y'all on your own. And I would never put my girl in harm's way where I gotta, where we're out there overnight in the middle of the dark and anything can happen. Like if it's one of my boys, we can deal with whatever. But I don't want to put that on my girl. I don't want to put her in harm's way at all. But I would love to go at night to some of these spots because we got all the gear. We got the night vision gear. We got the FLIR, forward-looking infrared. We got the night vision goggles. We got cameras. We got a lot of stuff. And I would like to get some of this stuff on camera. But yeah. Anybody got anything else they want to share before I wrap this thing up? I appreciate you guys coming in here. I really do, man. It's cool to have these conversations, have these talks, man, because again, it's just good. It's amazing to do that. Again, we got that contest for $300. Whoever the 100 person to buy a book, you screenshot it, leave a review, and if you're the 100th person to purchase the book, you will get $300. In fact, like I say, if you're the number 10th person to purchase a book, because the book is just getting out and it's just getting where it's able to be sold in major departments, I will give you a month free of fitness training. I appreciate that, Pink Unicorn. No, I'm good. KK, no, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. I don't know what you mean, KK, with that. No, I'm a good. I'm good. Still trying to figure out them people at that Bigfoot spot. There's some other stuff, but they didn't happen in it didn't happen in Madisonville, but we still got buy my copies tomorrow. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Pink Unicorn. Appreciate that very much. Let me see. What else do we need to talk? What else do I need to touch on? There's some stuff out here in Texas, again, I want to check out. But I'm trying to figure out where I want to go next year for my spooky trips to see if these places exist. But this is how we close off. Would you dare, you guys? Would you dare want to be caught out there in the middle of the night with a 7 to 8 foot hairy creature beating on the toll booth and only leaving because the headlights came from a car passing through? Would you dare want to be caught out there like that? Just you, one other person, fog everywhere. And again, I remember it very vividly being documented. I remember it. And I absolutely cannot find the article. The closest article I found was the one that I talked about with the burlap sack guy. That's the only one that I could find. Other than that, haven't seen anything else. Well, gonna wrap this thing up. In closing, this has been L.A. Kendrick with the Tale from the Vault of Would You Dare? Please feel free to grab a copy of my book, the new book, Wraith War, on Audible Books, Kindle, Nook, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, etc., etc. So show some love, support the workers. It's an incredible story, talking about just the very things we've been talking about right here. But the kids are Hamlet because they're the future men in black, so to speak. And they're taking care of us. So there's always somebody to defend us against the weird, spooky, supernatural, extra-dimensional, ultra-dimensional, demonic things that go bump in the night. Now you guys make sure you do yourself a favor. Do yourself one huge home. Make sure you check the closets, the dark closets of your home. Make sure that if you work late at night or in the wee hours into the wee hours of the morning, you check outside of your car, under your car, inside of your car. Be mindful of your surroundings when you step outside, because you never know if there's a hairy 7 to 8 foot tall creature waiting in the fog to make you a story. And we're gonna close out with that good music. And this has been L.A. Kendrick with another Tale from the Vault of Would You Dare? And until next time, you guys be safe out there and fill in the rest. Thank you guys for showing up. Y'all have a good one.